600 million mora in a single year? How? I don't even think you can spend that much money.
It's showtime!
So a new Teyvat Times is here, and with it comes a whole new slew of people you wonder what the hell are they doing in this game. Look, I'm not here to judge anyone on how they choose to enjoy Genshin Impact, you know? I enjoy building new characters and engaging in the combat. This person likes farming 206,641 wood. And you know what? I can't even talk down to this person because quite frankly, I'm jealous. I wish I enjoyed anything in this world as much as this person enjoys farming wood in Genshin Impact. But let's talk about the rest of it because there's some crazy stuff here. And well, by the rest of it, I mean, let's get back to the wood because, well, it's the first thing on the list. It's probably pretty safe to assume that this person is probably farming a variety of wood and has an insane stockpile of every kind under the sun. We can't possibly know how much time this person would have spent doing this because every type of wood is different. Maybe they just infinitely farmed bamboo because it's the easiest to get and kept deleting their stock down so they could keep farming more. Which, yeah, sounds like a crazy thing to do, but so is farming 206,641 wood, which is an average of 566 wood a day, by the way. That's a lot. Next up, the traveler that cooked 177,256 dishes. I genuinely worry for just how much food this person must be consuming, because there's no way they just make it for absolutely no reason. I mean, sure, they're probably hoarding it, probably just showing their stacks off, and hopefully eventually getting in this. But I gotta imagine there's a lot of people out there that do co-op domains. They either refuse to play healer themselves or just used to not having one, so they just eat a lot of chickens. But goddamn, when you consider that they have over 1,000 of 100 different dishes, that is like, think of it. Think of the variety of ingredients that this person needed to accomplish this task. This is like the greatest eco-terrorist this world has ever seen. Every fish, extinct. Boars, extinct. All that's left in nature is grass. Everything else has been cooked into this person's inventory. They are a true menace to this planet. Fishing is something that many of us begrudgingly did just to get the catch. And after that, it didn't really catch on. Except for this person who has fished up 34,059 fish. I don't know about you, but I can't stand fishing in Genshin Impact. I find the minigame aspect of it awful, and I typically enjoy fishing in games. I loved fishing in WoW, I love fishing in even Terraria. But oh, not here. And this takes a long time to do because you can't just fish infinitely like most other games. Without the new fishing gadget, because it didn't exist for most of these last 365 days, the average time to fish up a single fish is about 22.5 seconds. And when you apply that to that insane number of 34,059 fish, you get about 213 hours of raw fishing. And honestly, that doesn't even count in like the time to change the day-night cycle or to go from pond to pond, and I don't even know if one world has enough fish to fish that many fish in a year. But what I do know is that this person has spent more than double the amount of time that I've spent in Hollow Knight but fishing in Genshin Impact, and that is just a fact that makes me a little bit sad inside. Furnishing King, this one actually confuses me. I don't know how it was possible. Look, here's the deal. The fastest furniture craft you can do is 12 hours, and you can do that 5 times, which can be done twice a day for a total of 10 furnitures a day, which will of course equal out to 3,650 furnitures in a year. Now you can also use your realm currency to buy 5 of the speed ups per day as well, so you can increase that by 50%. Then this person also could have started the 365 day a year with 99 of them in their inventory, adding an extra 100 to it. That still only brings you up to 5,574. Where are those extra ones coming from? Am I just missing something? Am I forgetting something obvious? I don't know. If you know the answer, feel free to tell me down in the comments and call me stupid while you do it. I don't mind. I probably deserve it. I think I'm forgetting something obvious, but anyway, I'm moving on. This is a lot of ore to mine, and I think the crazy part about this is the fact that Iron Chunks is the one that they farmed the most of. After all, you can only spend so much ore a day, so I think this person had to also be using it in the parametric transformer and probably also just deleting some from their inventory just so they could mine and loot more ore. Whoa, now the big one. Now I know just how broke most Genshin players are, and they probably see this and they're like, what the hell? Even I'm like, what the hell is wrong with this person? Why do they have so much money? And can they possibly even spend this much money? Well, I have done the math for this one, and while it may not be flawless because it's really hard to just add everything up, I can really make good guesses here. Now, let me show you. First off, let's go over what is probably going to be one of the biggest chunk of this person's massive income, which is ley lines, potentially. A max level ley line gives 60k mora per 20 resin, up to 540,000 per day with 180 resin spent. Now, even if you do this for an entire year and spend all of your natural refreshing resin on this, that's going to be 197.1 million mora, which only equals under a third of what this person has farmed. Now, we all know there sure shit ain't no way on God's green earth that this person is spending literally 100% of their potential resin on nothing but mora. This is probably a Leviathan that is also maximum refreshing every single day, so maybe they are spending 180 resin per day on ley lines. But you may also be thinking to yourself or screaming at the monitor or already angrily typing in my comments section that, hey, there's things like events and battle pass and other things that give you mora, and you're not factoring that in. Well, no, of course I can't factor that in. For all I know, this person started Genshin Impact in the year and they got all the mora from Mondstadt, Liyue, Inazuma, and Sumeru all at once. There's also things like the Abyss and events, the Star Glitter Shop, and the Battle Pass, which is one of the highest sources of mora any player will get, and I can tell you that's only 2.88 million mora per Battle Pass, which equals out to be about 24.7 million a year. Even if I add all of those things up, events and all that crap for a full 365-day period, I think that is a generous assumption to say that's about 100 million mora. I'm actually not even sure if it would quite get that high. I think comfortably you'd probably be looking at about 50 to 70 million mora from all these things. But let's go back to the ley lines, because I think undoubtedly this must be a large portion of this person's income. Either that or they're such a massive whale that they don't even need to do that to get that much money. But let's go into just what that means. For those of you unfamiliar for whatever reason, you can buy infinite mora from the shop with Stardust. Now you get Stardust from getting 3-star weapons from the wishing system. This is by no means a very cost-effective method, but it's really one of the only things you can do with all that Stardust when you just have thousands of it from whaling for C6R5 characters. Now, since these only come from 3 stars, you're only going to get a maximum of 135 from a 10 pull, which will be lower anytime you get an extra 4 or 5 star. But we're just going to assume that this person has abysmal luck, and I'm just going to say 135 dust per pull, which is 9 3-star weapons. Since it takes 2,000 Stardust to be able to buy a million more, that means it takes almost just under 15 10 pulls to be able to get that much, which costs almost as much as $300 US. So all we need to do from that point is that $300 US to equal 1 million times 300 for the 300 missing million mora, and that is about $90,000 US to make about 300 million mora of nothing but Stardust. Now this is of course not counting wish refunds, and what I mean by that is when you get duplicates and you get star glitter and buy extra wishes with that. That would cut into that cost quite a bit, but that is still roughly the US dollar cost of primos that getting that much mora would take. Oh, but don't worry, because it keeps getting worse. Can you even spend this much money? Can you spend 614 million mora? The short answer is no. But let me show you why. Currently, we have 54 playable characters in Genshin Impact. If you want to max out all 54 characters, get them to level 90, get them 999 talents, and get them a level 90 5-star weapon, that is going to cost you 328 million mora. Leveling a full 5 set of level 25-star artifacts for every single character would cost about 72.9 million mora. Add those two values together and you get a little over 463 million, which that is a lot of mora, but that's if this person did all of this. If they aren't just some massive like $200,000 US whale, then they probably did have to spend some of their resin on ley lines at some point. And if they were spending a lot on ley lines to get this massive amount of mora, then they probably also don't have that many artifacts to level, or maybe they didn't actually take everyone to 90, or 999 everybody. It's undoubtedly a whale that's probably refreshing 6 times a day and probably R5 C6s every single thing that comes out. On top of doing a ton of ley lines, not just for mora, but EXP books as well to level all those characters up. Or they're just really obsessed with hoarding wealth and they just want to be Teyvat Jeff Bezos and they just are actually sitting on this amount of mora. Honestly, with the Teyvat Times, you never know. Down here at the bottom, we can see at the boss that travelers, and by travelers I mean I Win to Lose Gaming, have defeated the most as the Cryo Red is fine. Ajda has claimed the most lives, which not really surprising to be honest. If you go in there without a shielder, you're probably gonna get rocked by his AoE. He's probably the most dangerous boss to any new player who's just progressing for the first time. Someone out there clearly has a headcanon where Hu Tao is a failing chef that just never gives up on a dream and has cooked 22,000 suspicious dishes. And quite frankly, as far as the Teyvat Times is concerned, these teapot hosting numbers, those are really a lot lower than I thought they would have been. I expect stuff like there is a traveler who has visited half of the Asia servers players' teapots. Over on the second half, we have this stat that says there is one player who has quote unquote helped 9,658 different travelers. Now here's my theory. The king of the woods, the king of the kitchen, the king of furniture, the king of fishing, mines. This is all the same person. They are a menace to society. They will not be satisfied until every single resource in every player's world is picked clean and left to be a desolate wasteland where all life has ceased to exist. They need to be stopped, but nobody is talking about it. They claim this is help, but this is not help at all. This is a supervillain in their final form. This is eco-terrorism at its highest level. Hide your crabs, hide Timmy's pigeons, and for the love of God, don't let this person ever get their hands on Toma or Ito and become even more efficient at farming resources. This isn't a cry for help. This is a sign of the apocalypse. The end times are upon us, and there's nothing anyone is doing to stop this person. They are a madman. They are unhinged.